general know-it-alls. This is Phil Romanow from Remax Affinity in Fort Myers, Florida. And I'm coming to you today because I wanted to give you a quick market snapshot of the Southwest Florida real estate market. Particularly today, we're going to talk about Lehigh Acres. Now, that has been in the last several years the wild, wild west, where investors, primary owners, vacation buyers would purchase out there, getting amazing values out there under $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It has been incredible. Well, I wanted to look at the year over year, January 12 up to January 13, to see how the market has shifted. So now, if you got this, if you're viewing this video through like Facebook or one of our social media sites or in an email, if you have it in your email, it's right here. It's attached to the email. If you got it through another source on internet, just if you want to get the data, and if you're like me, you like to be able to have something in your hands to review. But if you don't have the attachment, go ahead and send me an email to phil@commdeal.com. That's COMMDEAL.com. Just say, hey, January statistics in the subject line, and I'll be delighted to send it to you. And I know it'll be helpful to you as you make your choices of where to purchase in Southwest Florida. So again, we're looking at Lehigh Acres, Florida, which has been an amazing Wild West out there. And so 2012, I'm going to give you the data from 2012 over and then with 2013. First of all, in 2012, there were 154 sales in January 2012 with an average dollar per square foot of $37.40. It's incredible. And days on market, which is 76 days. Now, the average sales price on sold properties were $60,302. That's the average. What that means, the average means the top of the bottom of the top, the best of the worst, the best of the worst, the worst of the best, the cream of the crop. So it just means average. And it's nothing too high, nothing too low. And what we've done, we've taken out the very highs and the very lows, so it doesn't throw off our numbers. So, and the average listing price to selling price ratio was 97%. And so let me just tell you what that means. First of all, for the 2012, so that you can have a good understanding of what you're working with. First of all, there was 154 sales in 2012, and the dollar per square foot for those on average was $37.40. And what we do, we take the property and we take the purchase price and divide it into the dollar per square foot. And that gives you living area about, if you had to cut it up, what the dollar per square foot was. And then we average those together, give us an average dollar per square foot. Very, very helpful. The same with the days on market. Days on market for 2012 were 76 days. And what that means is from the time it went active on the local market to the day it sold, it was 76 days. Now, the interesting next part is the dollar was the average selling price. And so that means we took all of the sales prices and averaged them together, and we came up to 60,000 and some change. But what we've done is we took out the very lows and the very highs because they kind of can skew the figures, and it comes to $60,000 and some change. Also, the listing price to selling price ratio says how much did they advertise it for and how much did they actually get compared to what they advertised it for. So, for example, if they advertised the house for $70,000 and they got $70,000, then it was 100%. If they advertised it for $100,000 and sold it for $95,000, then it would be a 95% listing price to selling price ratio. Also, if they advertised it for $100,000, they sold it for $110,000. That means that the listing price to selling price ratio was 110%. There was more than was actually offered. And so that means for 2012, there were some amazing bargains out there. There were people, we had 84 sales that were under $60,000. Also, and we had 29 sales that were under $40,000. So it was just incredible. Now, let's take a look at, that was 2012. Let's take a look and see what 2013 came to. There, in January 2013, there were 116 sales with a dollar per square foot of $50.70. Days on market were 50 days on market, and the average selling price was $82,337. Now, what is going on here? It is, we definitely can see that in January over January, there's been an increase in purchase price of for houses sold. Now, let me just kind of go through a couple of things. There was 154 units sold in 2012. There were 116. That means that there's less properties that are selling, and the actual inventory has actually gone down. So, which means that there's less that are being sold. They're not staying on market. There's just less inventory that's available for buyers, and so we can see that when there's a law of supply and demand, says the less number there are for sale, the intrinsic value comes up, and that's what we're seeing here. Very key is the dollar per square foot. It went from $37 a square foot to $50 a square foot, a 27% increase. Likewise, the days on market went from 76 to 50. There was a 24% decrease in days on market. In other words, they're flying off the shelf very, very fast. But here's where everyone wants you to look at it. In 2012, the average sales price was $60,302. January 2013 was $82,337. Now, that some very, very interesting things that happened because of that. In 2013, there were 8 houses that sold for under $40,000. In 2012, there were 29 houses that sold under $40,000. So we have seen a dramatic decrease in houses that were selling way, way dirt cheap back in the 2012, to where they're becoming a very small minority of the sales. Likewise, in 2012, January 2012, there were 84 houses that sold for less than $60,000, but in 2013, only 29. So those people who were, sneaking a peek at the market back a year ago, January, we're seeing houses that were going off the market for under $60,000. Those days are gone. We're looking at now from January 2012, $60,000 houses, $70,000, $75,000, $80,000. So, this is why it's so important that you know this, because if you're using 2012's memories about how the market is doing, you're going to miss, because there's people who are looking at the market, they know what the prices are, and if there's a house that they want to purchase, it's going to cost them more money than it did in 2012. Now, and so just so you know, that's critically important. The other things that have occurred is that we've had over half of these properties are being sold to cash buyers. So when people are looking to make purchases in Lehigh Acres, understand that your competition, if you're financing, is going to be our cash buyers, both domestic people and foreign people purchasing it, but there's a lot of cash coming in. So when you are, if you're like me and you're looking into how you can best strategize to get the house that you want, whether you're going to live there as a second home or as an investment, you just got to know kind of who your competition is. So make sure that you know this, finally, the last statistic I want to show to you is that the listing price to selling price ratio has gone from in 2012 from 97% to 2013 was 99%. Now, what that means is that that the sellers are getting closer to what they're asking for, and many times over. So remember, averaging just means we take all of them, average them together, so that what we're seeing as the averages increase, that the competition is more fierce, and that sellers are getting at or greater than their asking prices. So just want to give you a little bit of update on what's going on. It's been about 9 minutes, and I want to also encourage you to give us a call at 239-246-9761. And if you haven't, like I said, if you didn't get the email on this attachment of the documents, give me a holler back on the phone or drop me a quick email, and I'll be delighted to send it to you. This is Phil Romanow, Remax Affinity down in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida. By the way, today is February the 15th, and it is about 75 degrees, kind of rainy outside. But to our friends up up north, come on down. We miss you, and live with passion.